It's a Friday morning. It's Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. The weekend is here. Rest is near. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. Later, we'll talk to my guest via call. And of course, we're talking about different things. But a very unsettled, well, let me read the story first and I'll talk to you about it. Ahly Benghazi of Libya beat visiting Enyimba International 1-0 late Thursday to ensure Group A of the 2020-2021 CAF Confederations Cup will go to the wire at the final match day. Aba-based Nigerian side had needed a win to lead the group into match day 6. But Ahly's win meant Wednesday's games will now be crucial to quarter-final qualification. In the rescheduled match day 5 fixture played at the Benina Matters Stadium in Benghazi, Ahly pushed from the first minute. They were aiming for the maximum points, which would give them the hope of reaching the quarterfinals. But they had to wait till the 40th minute to take the lead through Mutasin El Taib. Well, victory ensured that Ahly Benghazi rose to Group A's second place and 7 points, 2 less than group leaders Orlando Pirates of South Africa. Enyimba following third place with 6 points, while Algeria's ES Setif trailed the group with 5. Let's assume that Enyimba was going to win that match, which I doubted. The preparations to go for the match, we're looking for a plane, 130 million naira. We don't have Schengen visas. All of that should have made them lose concentration and focus. So they went there with half their mind, are we going to go for this match? Will this match take place? Will we get to Libya? All of that actually disrupts the players' thinking. And you go there not fully focused for a game. And then even at that, it's just 1-0. Well, a good scoreline. Let's hope that their next match they can do better and prepare better before the games. Well, I hate to be the bringer of bad news. And someone sent me a text this morning, and I blocked him. I blocked him on all platforms he can get me on, and I'll tell you why. Our roads are bad. We've heard about stories about football teams, athletes getting in trouble, getting robbed, getting kidnapped on our roads, and then most importantly, accidents. But this one took a life on Wednesday. The man was buried yesterday. Now, Africa's #1 para-badminton player, Abdurrafiu Bello, has died in a ghastly motor accident. Bello, who is the coach of Kwara Badminton Association, died on Wednesday while returning from Lagos, where he had gone for an interview with the Spanish embassy for the last round of qualifications for Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. The deceased, who is the Africa representative on the board of the World Para-Badminton Federation, was scheduled to travel to Spain on May the 6th for the final round of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics qualifier. Alarakwe said the accident occurred between Oyo Town and Ogbomosho in Oyo State on Wednesday evening. The remains of Bello was on Thursday afternoon buried at the Muslim cemetery in Irewolide area of Ilorin, the Kwara capital. He was survived by his pregnant wife and aged mother. Now, this is not my story today. I had a very, very close Paralympian athlete friend who was living for the Paralympic Games some Olympics ago. I had to see her off to the BRT bus stop in Barracks. She took a bus. She couldn't afford an Uber. Took a bus to the airport, went to the Paralympic Games, came back with a gold medal. The governor then had brought them there, the few of them who actually won medals, gave her 500,000 naira, and nobody knows her name and knows where she is again till today, till the next Paralympics, I'm sure. This is how we treat them. And then my friend that was blocked this morning, he sent me a message and said, since our drivers know our roads are bad, let's be more careful on the roads. That's all he had to say about this man who died. A medal hopeful for Nigeria at the Tokyo Olympics. He says the drivers should become more careful since we know the roads are bad. He's been blocked though, I can assure you. We're expecting my guest on the show via call this morning, Wale Adekoya. Hopefully when he gets online, we'll get him to you. Now, Leicester City striker Kelechi Iheanacho is set to join Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea this summer. According to Spanish publications, Feuilles, Tuchel is very convinced in the ability of Ihenacacho to improve his team's attack next season. Ihenacacho is one name being considered by Tuchel at Stamford Bridge, should the West London club miss out on signing Borussia Dortmund's Erling Haaland this summer transfer window. Tuchel is impressed with the talents of the Nigerian international, who is one of the most informed strikers in England currently. The report added that Tuchel is not the biggest fan of Chelsea striker Tammy Abraham, with the ex-PSG manager leaving the England international out of Chelsea's starting 11 a few times in recent weeks. Chelsea are also open to the possibility of striker Olivier Giroud leaving the Blues at the end of the season. 24-year-old joined Leicester City from Man City for £24 million in 2017. Okay, I've got Wale Adekoya on the show. Good morning, Wale.
Morning, Wale.
I had some... Good to have you here. I had some stories before you came on board. The first one was a very unsettled Enyimba side. I knew they were going to lose. They lost 1-0. But it was a great game, though. Now they have to play mathematics to know who will qualify into the quarterfinal stage at this level.
You can imagine the team had to travel in the second time, had to around the world before the big cash released on and what have you. It's so sad, and at the end of the day, they lost 1-0. Imagine, just imagine if they had taken a bit more kind of preparation. Maybe we're talking about a draw or even a preparation. They did have been done, and then the destiny is saying that, hey, who knows, when they win the last match, once again, we'll be singing another good song.
Now, our roads are bad. They are not safe. People are being kidnapped on the roads. There are accidents everywhere. Now, we lost a medal hopeful at the Tokyo Olympics on Wednesday. He was buried yesterday afternoon. Our badminton, head of badminton in Kwara, he went to Spain. He went to the Spanish embassy to try and get a visa, to try and get into the qualifiers in Spain for May the 6th. And now he's dead. He was buried yesterday. And the badminton world is in disarray right now. It's terrible. Our roads are really bad.
When you hear experts tell you that the Olympic is more than just sport, it is a culture, it is a tradition, it is an ideology to be sustained, to be lived. It's not just a competition you send anybody down to represent motherland. It is sad, as a matter of fact, the sporting world should be mourning as a whole. Beyond losing a medal hopeful, we've lost a citizen, a competitor, a big one at that, somebody who has shown potential, who has shown ability, who has shown dedication. And because somebody, somewhere, sometime, somehow, had failed to be needful, look at where we are. It had happened to somebody whom we all know. Imagine how many more have been dying on these traps that we call roads. May his soul rest in peace. It's a huge loss, irreparable loss, Wale. And it is another call for everyone, you and I, not only the guys in government, you and I, to do what we need to do because you never know where the pendulum will swing at any point in time. So sad, horribly sad.
I think it's sad. I spoke about a friend of mine who was a Paralympian, who I escorted personally to one of the Olympics. I took her to the BRT stop at Barracks in Surulere. She came back from the Olympics with a gold medal. She got 500,000 from the governor then, the then governor then, and since then she's not been heard of. But I heard she'll be in the Paralympics again this time around. The Paralympians make us so proud and we treat them so badly. The able-bodied ones don't do us well. But a Paralympian had to hustle to the Spanish embassy by himself. I don't know if he has gotten the visa yet. He's back. He died in an accident. And this is sad. We treat our athletes like they don't even exist. And we expect them to perform miracles when they get to the Paralympics.
The spirit behind the the Paralympic event is actually to make supposed beggars to become breadwinners. So kudos to the white people, the individuals. You know the history of the Olympics from the Greek, the old Greek, the marathon, and all the myths, the mythology that surrounded the Olympics. That somebody needed to get somewhere, and there was no other way, so they had to keep running to a place called marathon. And today we have all of that led to the Olympics, Olympia, as it were. But unfortunately, once again, we are desecrating, we are abusing, we are making a mess of a system that had worked over time. When the idea of the Paralympics came, the entire world was celebrating. And if you look at the statistics, the last time I checked, more than multi-million people had actually been taken out of poverty from non-entity to superstars, to breadwinners, to people who are giving. But it's like we are not queuing behind that philosophy, that ideology in this part of the world. It is sad. You see, maybe this is not the right opportunity to talk more about that, but what I'm just going to say about that today is that, yeah, we have them. They've seen it all. Yes, we are poisoning these people. This is a warning to the guys, the administrators. Do what you should at the right time, because when you know that somehow, one day, you have cause to make account for most of these meetings.
I said a joke recently because I don't want to die of high blood pressure now over Nigeria's issue. Somebody said that the Nigerian African Paralympians are tested more than the other counterparts from other countries. And I said, why not? These guys in other countries train with solid equipment, standard equipment. They get their medication consistently, eat the right food. In Nigeria here, we train with substandard equipment. We eat rice, yam, and beans at the end of training and sachet water. I will still go there and win gold. How? We don't have the right medication.
Stadium boy, you were born and bred in the national stadium.
Exactly.
So you know the stadium better than me.
Yeah.
But let's just remind our viewers to scroll down to, a pity they may not be able to do that because of divisions. You could say the boxers, the Paralympians, the boxers, look at the condition that they were training, they were living. It is unbelievable in this 21st century. You were able talking about the facilities. You didn't talk about the life, the everyday life of a physically challenged individual in Nigeria or in Africa. Overseas, when they are building the road, they put the physically challenged in mind. How do they move with their wheelchair? Somebody who is impaired, how do you navigate your way in the university, polytechnics, higher institutions, your hostel, where do you live, your toilet? Are there considerations for you, your convenience? So many other people who cannot hear. What hearing aids have you provided at public places, cinema, stadium, and whatever? We don't do any of that. So when any of these guys, they did all they could to make their way to the Olympics. They conquered, they participated. Now coming back home, we still do what we are doing. This is the height of man's inhumanity to man.
I call it
I bet you, like Delegiwa said, all evil done by man unto man, none of them will go unpunished. If
True.
not now, then later. If not by man, then by God.
No doubt.
For all victory of evil over good is only but temporary.
Wow. Power of Nigeria, they call it. After watching the side comfortably beat West Bromwich Albion to strengthen their position in third in the Premier League, Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers caught a contented figure. Goals from Jamie Vardy, Johnny Evans, and Kelechi Iheanacho saw the Foxes run out easy 3-0 winners, and the Northern Irishman said he explained to the players that they can't relax just because they reached the final of the FA Cup last weekend. Rodgers did about to being frustrated with the quality of passing before the interval, joking that he nearly broke his ankle kicking a water bottle. He also added more thoughts on the apparent demise of the European Super League, saying that he was pleased the voices of the fans had been heard.
Listening to any win in the Premier League is always a really good win, and especially against a team that have showed a lot of really good form of late. And and had a good rest period coming into the game. So yeah, it was an excellent victory for us. I said to the players beforehand, this is the time of the season where just because we're now arrived in the final doesn't mean you're going to 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So thinking it's just about the FA Cup now. You know, we've got other targets, and we have to have that determination and commitment until we get to the final. And I thought the players were excellent in that aspect. It wasn't perfect. I was annoyed at half time, I have to be honest. So the goals were exceptional. Some of our play were very dynamic, looked fast, pressed the game well, but too many loose passes, too many mistakes, simple mistakes, where we needed to be more precise. Second half, we were able to control the game. Sam changed the shape of them to block it up a little bit more, so we could then conserve the ball and keep the ball, and we kept the clean sheet. But overall, delighted with the 3 points and the 3 very good goals.
Wale, I'll come to you on this one, but later. When I talk about Arsenal fans say I don't like them. But in this case, it's not me. It's Arsenal fans abroad and other fans abroad now that are saying this. Not me. I'm only reading what they said. Now, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has hit back at critics who believe Arsenal didn't deserve their European Super League invite. Now, Arsenal are 9th and Tottenham 6th were the recipients of jokes on social media about why they were joining the breakaway elite competition. Arteta insists the Gunners would have deserved the place due to their history of success, not their recent results. Arsenal face Everton on Friday, that's today, and the Spaniard is prepared for teams outside the Big Six to raise their games due to the recent events.
Yeah, I found out just a little bit before that the news were leaked, and then everything was completely out of controls, and the world reacted in a really unified manner. So not really time to think about it, reflect, evaluate or anything, because by the time that was out, a big tsunami already came onto it and basically killed it. All of them with the right intentions to defend the club and put the club in the best possible position for now and for the future, but accepting that the way it's been handled obviously has had terrible consequences, and that it was a mistake. And I have to really respect that when people has genuine intentions to do the best for this football club. But if it doesn't happen, if it's not the right thing to do, they can stand up here and apologize. And I think, I'm talking for myself, but I think the players and the staff and everybody working at the club, we have to accept that and move on, because the way it's been handled, I think it's been really good internally. This has given a big lessons, and it shows the importance of football in the world. And it shows that the soul of this sport belongs to the fans.
Now, Wale, some fans say Arsenal don't deserve to be invited to the Super League. Arteta says, listen, yes, our recent forms are bad, but I think we're invited because of our past successes. But Nigerians will say, I get them before, don't be property.
Maybe you take that again.
I said Arsenal fans are saying, why did they invite Arsenal for the Europa Super League, that they are not a big club? But Arteta says, listen, we deserve to be there. Why? Because they are working on our past successes, not our recent. And I'm saying that I get them before, not be property.
No. We say, one thing I know is that whether we like it or not, Arsenal FC is not a small club by all standards.
Okay.
You talk about tradition, you talk about age, you talk about achievement, you talk about product.
In the past, Abi?
What they have.
In the past, in the past, Abi?
Location alone, Arsenal, where they are in North London, is among the choicest place, one of the best places to live in the whole of Europe. Now, it's one club that never been relegated. And The unbeaten run is there. They've given us joy, wonders like Henry, so many, even our Canova Cup, Pastoral, so many others. Yes, they are not in Europe, have not been exactly fantastic. And I know the problem of Arsenal is that they have fans who are knowledgeable, who the ego, the expectation is so much. Oh, Wale Scott, the expectation of an average Arsenal fan is out of this world. It's bigger than the fan of Bayern Munich. They believe they deserve it all, they want it all, but somehow it's not working that way. But in the mix, if you are talking about 12 big clubs in Europe, it would be a bad idea to have Arsenal FC. So yes, I get on before and obviously we can banter. But let Arsenal top 12. Come on, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Well, Wale says Arsenal is a big club by every standard. I have a cousin of mine who stays in my house. He's a big Arsenal fan. He can carry a bowl. He can carry a bottle. He can't carry a cup. He just can't. He just can't. He tries. He tries, but he can't carry a cup. Now, Carlo Ancellotti has revealed that he thought the now collapsed proposal for European Super League was a joke. The Everton manager thinks it's impossible that it will ever happen and digress with any format that goes against the sporting merit. Speaking ahead of Friday's trip to Arsenal, the Italian said Everton would never consider such a plan without consulting their supporters because they're a club that care. Ancelotti urged for coaches, players and supporters to be consulted on any future changes to formats or schedule, but does not agree with the prospective changes to the UEFA Champions League. Now, Inter Miami coach Phil Neville went off topic in his Thursday news conference ahead of the team's upcoming MLS game against the Philadelphia Union, saying his brother Gary had the courage and bravery to stand up for what was right in scathing comments he made about the proposed Super League scheme. The former Man U captain and respected pundit laid anti-club owners behind the plan on a television broadcast, saying it was pure greed, calling them imposters.
A group of people probably totally misread or had a lack of knowledge about what football means to people in England and in Europe. But particularly in England, you think about the stances that all the supporters of those 6 clubs in England that tried to break away. I think it made me really proud in terms of sort of like that's where you grow up. I've got to say that watching my brother speak so passionately on that Sunday night, I think it was after the game, Sunday night, when nobody really knew anything about it, when nobody really knew the ins and outs, when nobody knew what the project was about, he had the courage and bravery to stand up for what was right. And I think probably he started the ball rolling, and the rest, 24 hours later, 48 hours later, the common sense prevailed.
Wale Adekoya, I want to thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you.
My pleasure anytime. I always rep Plus TV.
Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you. I don't know if I can take this tennis before I go on the show today. Rafael Nadal, beat Nishikori in the Barcelona Opens, of course, to get into the quarterfinals. Congratulations to Rafael Nadal, the king of clay. That's all we can take on the show today. Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa on a Friday morning. The weekend is here. Rest is near. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.